Everyone, welcome back to the video. I hope you all are doing great. We all know the struggle of scrolling through Netflix and figuring out the perfect show or movie to watch, right? Well, it is definitely a task. But what about those recommendations or those options given by Netflix? Have you ever wondered how Netflix is able to give you those perfect content creation which you would like to watch? Or how they're able to keep you glued to the screen? Well, today we dive down into the creation or Netflix's data creation system. We understand how exactly they do this, we understand how they use it, and also how they are able to leverage this as so quickly as possible so that they are able to bring contents which we would like to watch. So without wasting more time, let's get started.
Netflix offers thousands of TV shows and movies available for streaming. And to help its users weed through an ever-changing catalog, it recommends titles for each viewer, including through those famous, super granular categories like romantic revenge dramas based on classic literature. How does Netflix come up with those genres and create personalized recommendations for millions of users? This is Algorithmics, the space where we explore how invisible, computer-controlled, database sets of rules are making decisions for us every day.
Well, a new marketing strategy by companies Netflix and Spotify are putting some customers on privacy watch. Last week, Netflix called out specific users in a holiday tweet, writing to the 53 people who've watched A Christmas Prince every day for the past 18 days. Who hurt you, end quote. The tweet started a major conversation about how Netflix members are being watched themselves. Spotify also exploited its users in an ad campaign.
So it's funny, big data has been kind of a cliche in Silicon Valley for the last few years. Big data this, big data that. Big data is really one big mountain of garbage with little gems buried in this, tremendous trash heap. And you want to find those gems. You really want to find out what's going to make the experience better. So there are a lot of sophisticated machine learning algorithms that Netflix and other companies deploy to really figure out what are the gems that are going to make a better experience and what's the rubbish that you want to separate out and push to the side. Once you find those gems,
today, Netflix is a leader in the television industry with over 93 million viewers around the world streaming billions of hours every month. And Netflix is watching and collecting data on every second, and it all starts as soon as you log in.
So now for sure we know that Netflix uses big data, right? If they have to know their users or those subscribers of back of the hand, they need to know the data of the users. Well, what does this data actually have? For instance, right now I want you to imagine that you have all the million users' habits. The habits of the users that are on your platform, you know about them. Let's mention a few if you want. What they watch, how they watch, where are they watching from in the sense which location are they watching from, what device are they using, what are those shows or movies which they are constantly searching for, what are their favorite director or celebrities they would like to watch, many other data sets which are collectively kept in one huge data. That's exactly what Netflix really wants, to analyze and bring up that perfect content so that they can keep you glued to the screen. Now, big data is definitely a gold mine, and to know how to use it is like a key to the future and knowing your user like the back of the hand. Now, if you want to know how exactly big data works and what are the types, some of the real world examples in this, I have done a video before on specifically on the impact of big data on decision making. I will drop the link in the description. Make sure to check out. You will have an overview of how big data works, and maybe then come back to this video to understand how Netflix uses this. Now, coming back to the video, let's talk about the Netflix data usage. It's not just about the watch history. It is much more than that, and simpler also in the sense. First one is reviews and ratings. Netflix totally depends on the user feedback. They would want to know what did the user really like, or what would they want to have in the next one. Having this keeps them an edge up. Next we have is the proper utilization of the search engine. Netflix knows that if the users are able to, or the people are able to search more and more, they are able to get the data. So they keep it simple and they are able to collect the data as much as possible. Next one is competitive edge. They would want to know if you have finished that complete movie or that show, or have you just paused or stopped halfway through. This is a huge data in itself, actually, to be honest, because if there's another project that's coming for Netflix, they would either stop it because they know if people are not really liking it. Lastly is to know exactly how many times have they rewind and paused. This data is basically to know if the user is confused, or either the user is interested in a particular part which they would like to watch again and again. Now remember, this data is not just from one person, it is from a million users around the world. So imagine the amount of data that is being collected right here. It is just like a gold mine. That's exactly how big data plays a crucial role. But keeping all this aside, Netflix particularly focuses on the recommendation engine. They build on the recommendation engine. Now, this data, or this huge data that is being fed to the recommendation, or a complicated recommendation, which we can call it as a sophisticated algorithm, this is able to give you those recommendations to the users or the people who are watching. What are the factors, or how is the question rising in your head? Well, here are a few. First one is genre preference. If you like something which is science-fi thrilled, it will figure out which one are those shows or movies which you might like, and it would suggest you that too. Second is, as I said, director or actor preference. Maybe you are a diehard fan of a star, or maybe you like the work of a specific director. Then it would specifically recommend all those shows or movies which he has done before, or she's done before, and would recommend you the perfect ones for that. Last one is like a shared taste. It's like, you like a particular show or a movie, for instance, okay, and the same taste or interest, there are many other people around. It would recommend these things to them too. Seems like a concept that has been similar, right? Well, yes, this was in the video of Spotify's AI recommendation where I have spoken about this. So you can check that out. I will drop the link in the description. It's again the same thing where there's a particular thing that is which you like, and it will figure out where there are people of the same interest, and it will recommend that. Now, this was about recommendation, big data, analysis, all of these analysis of Netflix done by the data, all of these. But the question right here is not just these. It's about the content creation, right? Does Netflix actually use this data for content creation? And the answer is yes. How though? Well, as I said, data is a gold mine. It opens the door for many things. First thing is identifying trends. A specific data of a particular show or a movie lets you know how the trend goes. For instance, take this example. There's a show that people like at a specific period of time, maybe some particular holiday. And this data allows Netflix to make another show or movie at that period of time itself, which is itself a profit at that period of time, right? Second one is A/B testing. Now, assume that you have a trailer for the same movie, but there are two trailers for it. There's a trailer A, there's a trailer B. Now, you upload that and you see which is performing well. Let's give you a simple example. Let's take Stranger Things. Now, Stranger Things, there are two trailers, let's assume. One which is really hyper, which gives you those vibes of goosebumps. And one more is a little light-hearted, where the data tells you which one is doing well. Both might sound, one might sound low, one might sound, high, but the impact and reacting towards this will be different from people. So this opens the door for Netflix to create proper content. Lastly, predicting way before. Now this is the gold mine of data, right? Data literally predicts if that movie or show is going to be a hit or a flop. By analyzing the script, by analyzing the cast, by analyzing how exactly the storyline is, it will tell if it's going to be a perfect hit or not. By this, it's a huge advantage if you're going to invest in certain projects or not. Now, apart from all of these recommendation and all of these, there should be some of the examples that would go along with you. So let's talk about them. For example, let's take some real world examples. Let's take of you and popular show Brainstorm. Okay. Now, this show shows, especially about this, Netflix data says that it's going to be a popular hit with leading women actresses for the cast, and with the audience reach that it's going to get, it's going to be a hit. Whereas you might like something with a dark theme or a thrilled psychological thriller, or maybe you might like to, not like to, maybe you might resonate with viewers with a similar interest, like, or the like minded of Mid Hunter, something like that. So it's like, data is the key to open the door. That's what is the simplest example for this. Now let's talk about the future of data driven content. What about it? As Netflix data, or technology evolves, so does Netflix's data too. The capabilities are more. Think about this: facial recognition. You are watching a trailer, and based on your facial recognition, it's able to recommend more shows or movies like that. Interactive experience. Based on the experience that you're having while watching the movie, or maybe let's assume that based on your mood or based on the place where you are, it's able to recommend you the perfect show or the movie that you would like to watch. Something that is, too good to be true, but future is unpredictable, right? You never know what's coming up next. So talking about this, now let's talk about some of the advantages as well as disadvantages, right? Let's talk about them. So let's talk about the advantages first, right? First one is increased viewer satisfaction. Always remember, this is not just about Netflix. Maybe it might be your business, or you're the company you're working, or the platform you're working for. The more number of customer you satisfy, or the more number of user you satisfy, the better for the platform. And similarly for Netflix, the more amount of people it's going to satisfy, is the more the platform is going to reach its full potential. As I said, grouping the people. If there is a people with a similar interest, you can group them, show them those recommendations, show them those shows which they like. It would really satisfy those users. Second one is how exactly you're able to bring up those shows, or you're able to figure out those shows, which I can say as content discovery. Assume that you wanted to watch something and you were not able to find. It's like that gem, which is hidden, but you were able to find only because of the help of data. Last is reduce risk. You have the data. You know if the movie or the show is going to be a hit or a flop. Then, if you know it, why to invest in that? Invest in something which the data says this is going to be a hit. That will reduce your risk. Now, as I always say, it's not always sunshine and rainbow, right? There are disadvantages too. So let's talk about it. First of all is the big question mark of privacy concern. Almost every video when I talk about data, the first thing that comes up is it safe, right? Privacy is a big question mark when you think about this. Think about the facial recognition, the future of it, which I told. Imagine at some particular period of time, facial recognition is happening. It wouldn't be the safest, right? So that's a big question mark. Second thing is echo chamber. Now, the more it gets, giving you the recommendation, the more creativity is lost. You are not able to explore the fullest potential as possible. Last is, as it's connected to the previous one which I told, is limited creativity. Your creativity is limited. You don't know where to explore only because you're relying on the data. So this is a big disadvantage. Coming to the end of this video, all I can say is the next time you lose yourself, in the Netflix binge, remember that it's a combination of the data driven and your choice. To fulfill your preference and choices, it's how exactly you combine with the data results that it's going to give, the recommendation instance, for example, and you with the preference that you have. The blend of these two will be the best for you to watch the particular show or movie. Well, if you're someone who likes these kind of topics, we on our platform, on our website, Chronics, we do a lot of blogs on different topics like this. I'm sure it will help you out. You can do check that out, and we also give the option to download it. So if you have a particular case study you're studying on, doing a research on, you can definitely download and use it for. It's gonna help you a lot. So that was all about this video about Netflix's data-driven content creation. All I can say is that's it for this video. See you in the next one.